Alright guys, so I'm back with another replay of TheMista. This is another replay that is super suspicious and almost as concrete proof as the Phoenix, him intercepting my Phoenixes in the Ohana game. This is a game against Welmu that I found on Drop SC. I assume it's about from a little over 2 weeks ago, and I assume it's from a Playham or something. I don't know who uploaded the replay, but somebody in the thread on Team Liquid linked these replays, so I downloaded them and instantly I found some more evidence. So I apologize if you think that I went ahead and posted too soon, but I needed to get people's attention. I wanted to get more replays from players. Some players have been messaging me personally saying that they don't want to be mentioned in the thread or anything, but they are suspicious as well. They just don't want to accuse somebody of something and if it's not proven yet, and which is understandable, and that's why I was very hesitant to come out with this thread, etc. So we notice in this game that so far TheMista is not scouting at all, like in the previous games, which is pretty standard for him. But the real thing that gets really fishy for me is further in the replay. I'm not even looking for camera locks at this point. If you want to look for camera locks, I'll link the replay in the thread. But the main thing that I'm going to show you guys is there's a warp prism that comes to the bottom left of Mista's base, and he never sees it, but he tries to put a probe in a location to where he will see it, but he never actually sees it, and he positions his units in a way to where he will stop the warp prism with no information that it's there. And it's actually really suspicious. So I'll actually just go ahead and fast forward to that point. So he builds the Nexus. I will also note that have you note that this is quite risky. This in itself, this build is viable, but not with no information. And sure, his opponent just lost some units, so that could be used as an excuse. Okay, as an excuse, but okay. So we just saw him click the probe over here, right? So there is a possibility that, like, he could say, okay, I'm scouting for a proxy robotics or something of that nature. But the other thing we have to take note of is that a warp prism is being constructed right now. So let's keep that in mind, and we'll watch from Welmu's vision. And what you really want to, not Welmu's, but Mista's vision, what you really want to keep in mind here is, or just keep your sight on the minimap, because we want to see exactly what Mista is looking at and what he can see on the minimap, because if he never sees the warp prism, or if he doesn't even see a robo, why would he? I mean, there's a lot of things you want to be worried about with right now with an expansion. You want to be worried about, like, blink. You want to be worried about a lot of things. And notice all the attention he's putting on this probe right now in the corner as this warp prism is coming down the right side of the map towards his base. He's putting an awful lot of attention on that probe. And again, I'm not even looking for camera locks. I just went into this replay and I'm just looking for anything that's really suspicious. Notice more attention on that probe. Why do you put that probe there? You know, why do you keep going back to that probe? Notice he also stops in the middle of the map with his observer. He hasn't even went in for any sort of information because he's too focused on catching this warp prism, which he still hasn't seen, right? He still hasn't seen it. It hasn't even once blipped onto his minimap. So now he's going to finally scout with his obs. But yeah, he hasn't seen the warp prism. He doesn't even have his tower. Okay, now he sees, okay. He sees a robo. Still no blip from the warp prism. Welmu's got it in that little dark area right here. And he hasn't moved it yet. Okay. So no expansion for Welmu. And 2 more gates added. And suddenly he decides to move his units down here. And there we go. The warp prism blipped onto the radar. But before that, you notice Mista moves his units before he actually even sees the warp prism. So we'll go back to about 8 minutes, and we'll take note of when Welmu starts to move that warp prism. So he selects it at 8:05. Okay. The same time, Mista moves his units and warps in right here. So that in itself, those are the things. That's just a short thing I noticed from this video, from this replay, and that's very suspicious to me. Very, very suspicious. I don't know anybody who puts a probe back here and just leaves it. That's just really suspicious to me. So anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this video.